Hello and welcome back. Today we are looking at a very useful grammar contrast, would and will. This is one of those grammar points that seems simple at first, but it affects tone and how natural you sound in English. The confusion usually comes from the fact that both words can appear in similar areas of meaning. They can both connect to the future and they can both appear in offers and requests. However, they do not do the same job. Today, we're going to make that clear. Let's compare will and would. Will is usually more direct, more certain and more immediate. Would is usually softer, less direct and more polite. That is the core distinction. Many learners are told that would is the past form of will, and that is true. For example, he will call later. The past form is he said he would call later. It will be difficult. The past form is I knew it would be difficult. In those examples, would is connected to reported speech or a past viewpoint. In everyday English, would is also used to soften language. That is why you hear it so often in polite requests, careful offers, hypothetical situations, more formal or softer English. So it is important not to think of would as only a past form. Very often it is doing something else. Now let's look at the central contrast, will. We often use will for spontaneous decisions. For example, I will send it now. For predictions, it will rain tomorrow. For promises, I will call you tomorrow. For direct requests, will you help me? These sentences feel quite direct and clear. Would. We often use would for polite requests. Would you help me? For softer offers, I would be happy to help. For imagined and hypothetical situations, I would go if I had time. For less direct requests, would you mind sending it over to me? These feel softer and less forceful. That is the key contrast. Will usually moves more directly forward, while would often steps back slightly. Let's have a look at request and two different sentences. Compare these two. Will you help me? Would you help me? You can use them both, but they do not sound the same. Will you help me sounds more direct. Would you help me sounds softer and more polite. Now compare. Will you send me the file? Would you send me the file? Would you mind sending me the file? Each version comes softer. That is why would is so common in polite English. Now let's look at these examples. It will rain later. That will probably take an hour. Here, will is natural because you are making a prediction. So this is important for normal predictions about what you think is going to happen. Will is the usual choice. Now look at this. I will go if I have time. I would go if I had time. These are very different. I will go means real decision or intention. I would go if I had time means imagined situation, not a real one. This is one of the clearest uses of would when we talk about hypothetical meaning. It often appears when the action depends on something unreal, uncertain or conditional. For example, I would buy it if it were cheaper. She would come if she knew. We would stay longer if we could. So here would expresses an imagined future or hypothetical situation. Sometimes both will and would are possible. Compare. Will you join us? Would you join us? In the first sentence, we are making an offer, and this offer is straightforward but quite direct. In the second sentence, we are making an offer as well, but it sounds more polite and inviting. It comes with less pressure. So in many real situations, choosing between will and would is not only about correct grammar, but sometimes it is also about tone. That is why both meaning and feeling matters here. So let's bring it all together. Use will when the meaning is more direct and certain. For example, for decisions, predictions, promises. Use would when the meaning is softer, more polite and more hypothetical. For example, polite requests, softer offers, imagined situations, more careful English. So the main takeaway is this. Will often sounds more direct. Would often sounds softer. And that is why the choice matters. If you start noticing this in real English, your listening and your speaking will both become much stronger. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.